every other league in America, and it's not really close. We see the metrics, a lot of different metrics. It's not close. Unlike baseball, it's got a zillion games. There's more urgency. Every Sunday feels like it matters. That's a big part of it. We bet football our whole lives. We've been betting football games. Somebody in America has. We don't really bet baseball and NBA. We do now more with, gambling becoming more of part of our fabric, but we've always bet it. It's really good on television. It literally, the field fits the box. But I think one of the under-discussed reasons the NFL is so popular is hope. You don't get stuck in like quicksand with a bad contract to a baseball player. It's like you're not stuck for 9 years. You're not stuck in the NBA when you get a bad contract and a difficult player. The NFL players have less power and leverage than every other American professional athlete. And sometimes I think that's its strength. If a guy's a headache, you cut him. If a guy underperforms, you move off him. And a couple weeks ago, I said, I thought the Philadelphia situation was so bleak. And then I watched Jalen Hurts Sunday, and I thought, no, I've seen this before in the NFL. This is the sport of a silver lining. And Carson Wentz, the minute Nick Foles, the backup, won that Super Bowl, it's never felt comfortable. He's a young kid. I mean, if I took a week off and it was the highest rated this show ever was with my backup and they built a statue of the guy outside Fox, I'd probably be a little insecure. And Jalen Hurts was drafted in the second round. It's not like they drafted him with other needs, which they have, to sit and watch games from the sideline. The NFL style is moving into his style. Philadelphia is going to find room for Carson Wentz. How about we start with the Colts, go to the Patriots, keep your eye on Denver and San Francisco? I think they'd ideally like to get him to the other conference and not have him come back and burn him. Yes, it's a big cap hit for Philadelphia. But if Jalen Hurts is as good as potentially we've seen, he's free for 3 years. So the quarterback position, again, if he's performing at a division-winning level, it's not an outrageous fee for him. Wentz needs a reboot, probably a new coordinator. Hurts needs an opportunity. And I think Philadelphia is going to find somebody who's going to buy that contract. I mean, good God, we woke up this morning and thought, wow, Pittsburgh needs a quarterback. It's like every weekend we're like, oh, that team's good. Oh, no, they're not. I mean, I've gone back and forth on Cam in New England 6 times this year. So the NFL is not the NBA. You don't get stuck for 7 years in quicksand or mud where you can't get off a contract. You can't get off you pay a pitcher a fortune, boom, Tommy John surgery. Now you can't fulfill your bullpen needs, your infield needs, and you're stuck with a contract. In the NBA, the players have more power. You can pay a guy a lot. He gets injured. He gets an attitude. He's hard to play with. So Doug Pederson talked about Wentz and Hurts. Now, listen, this is an eggshell thing, but the more I watch Hurts play and the style of the NFL and quarterbacks that move in their success, I'm like, maybe it's the best for everybody.
This is a situation where it's not, it's not Carson versus Jalen or Jalen versus Carson, right? This is a team that, we're fighting and scratching each week and still have an opportunity to, pull this thing out and see what happens here in the next 2 weeks of the regular season. And, the team doesn't feel like, there's any kind of animosity between either one of the guys.
Carson Wentz should actually be cheering for Jalen Hurts because it speeds everything up. If Jalen Hurts has 2 great final games, then Philadelphia inside says, let's make a call to the Colts or Patriots. You think Bill Belichick's going to sit around with a rookie quarterback? I don't. And Wentz is better than Darnold. I don't. You think Phillip Rivers is really the answer against the Mahomes of Justin Herbert? I don't. So, 2 weeks ago, this was bleak. I watch Hurts and I think, yeah, it's the NBA. It's the NFL, excuse me. It's fixable. So NBA season starts tonight. KD, Kyrie getting a lot of love and publicity
this week against the Cowboys. However, he would not commit to Hurts for the rest of the season. He said he obviously was sticking with Hurts for the next game, but he was only focused on this week. I don't know why he won't just say Hurts is the starter for the rest of the season.
Because
but
I think he's trying to massage the Wentz situation. Instead of just breaking up, it's you've still got a shot, and it makes the temperature in the room changes a little if you manage it like, okay, one more week of Hurts instead of we're going with Hurts. Then Wentz literally can't dodge the Philadelphia media, and it's just a circus.
It does cause a little bit more. I'm not quite as finesse as that, but he also wants to see how Hurts and the rest of the team respond after last week's loss. But even though they lost last week, it wasn't a loss I felt bad about. And I don't like to do that because I don't like moral victories. But I think when you're in a situation like this, you have to have a little bit more perspective.
Yeah.
Now, from a fan's perspective, that was a great game and a great watch. But it wasn't like Hurts wasn't there. He put the ball right where it needed to be 3 plays in a row at the end of the game to win it. They are at the Cowboys, and then they have Washington to finish out this season. And then we'll find out week 17 who won the NFC East if you're still